Even though there is a frame given, yesterday somebody was asking, is it fixed? No, it's not fixed. There are some EMMRC products which are slightly different from the frame. Content is there, but they will slightly change it. And such innovative inventions are also welcomed by the. Even though they give a frame, this is how it has to be, but you can change it slightly. If they don't give a frame, everybody will start generating their own. It will be very, very messy. Therefore, what they do is they give a frame, but if you like to add something more, fine, you can do that. And for that, you have an extra mark. Okay? Your creativity is always welcome. Content remains same from it. So, what's required for your e-content? You have got text, movies, images, interactivity, and you have got sound, simulation, animation, all these together. Text, you can be in text format, it can be in doc file format, it can be in RTF format, it can be in PDF file, it can be in CVS, there are all different softwares, PDF for the Acrobat reader and all that. Okay, it's a different format. So don't worry, you don't doc the cinema. Doc file is permitted. Image file, you can be on BMP, JPEG. JPEG is that. Okay. GIF you will learn from the Devi Krishnan. Devi Krishnan will like GIF because it is going to show animation on GIF animator. Where we use Flash, he will use GIF animator. Okay. Microsoft will use Flash, but he will be using GIF animator. Adobe Photoshop is the picture editor for us. For him, GIF is the file format. Photo right. Drawing, we can have any of these formats, but you don't use it generally. Drawing, any CAD file, you can have either CAD or you can have Microsoft CAD file. Movie, you can have AVI, ARM, FLC, WAA, anything, WMA. Wave, you have seen Wave. You can use MP3 also. You can convert Wave into MP3. How do you convert Wave into MP3? Did I show you that? Did I show you that? You want to see? See, what happens is, assume that you want to write it on a MP3 file. Generally, MP3 is the reader, most of the video cassettes and all read on the CD. But this file will not read, Wave file will not read in MP3. So you want to convert it into MP3. How do you do that? Take the same file. You have this file in the Sony format. Where was that? Yeah. This is the file which we have in the Wave file. You can see Wave file. You want to see more details about that file? Press the second button and go to properties. It will give you all details. Which format is that? Which directory is that? What is the size of the disk, okay, and all the details you get inside. It will tell you what format is that. You want to change, you can change it, but it will not work. It will only change the extension file is, okay. Internal format, you have to read it externally and then change. This you can see one. You want to compare this along with this file. You can see the size change. This was 31 KB, but that has become 371 KB. Just format change, nothing else changed. Because internally Sony knows how to keep it. That's why the small recorder can record 9 hours of talk. But when you put it onto the disk, it will become how much? It will become much more, and you will require 3-4 CDs to write. Whatever you have on the small chip, you require 3-4 CDs to write, right? Now, so this is what I wanted to tell you. Now you want to change this format, you can read it in whatever file. Many of the, these are all, I can play it in any of them. So I will choose one of them. The picture of the plant.
which we have taken yesterday, that's the e-consent class, and the full
We can go to
e-consent response course
file.
in Canva. Right?
It will allow you to give a convert file option. You can go to file, open the file, and then you go to convert. So you can convert it. You want me to show or not required? You can read all these files. Whatever is available, you can read them, you can convert it to JPEG, MP3, because this software supports all formats. But earlier you have seen only very few formats, right? No? So the software supports all these formats. You can convert from one to another one. You can save from, open it in one file format, save it as another file format. Then you can convert it. Okay? All from this file format. Fine. You can open one file, save as another file. You have a bunch of files to be converted together, that's also possible. You go to the corresponding directory. And here both are MP3. Instead of that, change it to WAV. So this many WAV files I have. All of them I have to dump it into another directory or the same directory, and then say convert. Select all of them and say done. The whole file will get converted. So what we will do, we will do only for the one file which we have done. We can do bunch of files together. That's also possible. So we have one file, education, so this is the file. That's the WAV file. You see here, the WAV file. And what we want is MP3. If you want different format, you can change whatever you want. So I just wanted that as MP3, and it is done. Done. Anything. PowerPoint will read most of the audio files. But MP3, in case if you want to write it on a CD, right? MP3 is smaller. Now we will see the file size. We have written it on the properties. You see, the same file became 186 KB, which was 371. This was 371, that became 186. Just half. Only difference, one is WAV file and one is MP3 file. So you can write this MP3. Now what will happen? Assume I wanted to write an MP3. Go to, what is the software which you use for writing your CD? Neuro. Okay, so let me use Neuro. I go for Neuro and say audio file. Make an MP3 disk. Okay. Now I can just drag and drop all the files. What is required for me to write? So let me check whether I can drag and drop this. What does it say?
No compatible.
No compatible format. So it will not allow Sony files to be written in MP. Okay, no problem. I agree. Now we have got something else. What that you have? Wave file. Let us try wave file. This is MP3. This is wave file. Wave file let me drag and drop. What does it say? No compatible format. Fine. Now you try this MP3. It will allow you to try. So only MP3 files you can send. But if you are writing as a data file, anything you can dump inside. You don't have to use this MP3. Instead of that, you just put it as a data file. Fine, it will format it too. Okay? Let's say when you want to cut an MP3 CD, the file format has to be MP3. So that some offshoot of giving you some idea about different file formats. Okay. Now animation, in which software you are generating, based on that the output will be accordingly SWF, FLC, etc. If you are using GIF animator, you will get, I think FLC is the file format. Simulation, similarly whatever format your software you are using, that will give you the corresponding output. That is the medium. That is a small media like smaller than cartridge. External media. Dat file. It has got an internal format in which it will store and that will be compressed for that purpose. You can read it through that. So that backup media has got an internal format that's called that one. The PDF files, Acrobat, BMP Paint, Notepad, FSW, Corel Pro, Adobe Illustrator, video player, all of them will have different, these are all general file formats and corresponding softwares where you can play. You don't have to worry, the file is available, double click it will open. In case if the software is available for you there. Okay? Otherwise, you press the right button, open with try all. Nothing but you say sorry. Okay? There browser. You try it. What I mean is, you have to try your different softwares and different file formats and learn. That's what is essential. But look at the properties and learn what is the file format and which software uses that. Okay? At least learn that and keep in mind. How do you edit the content? You have to read it MS Word, Acrobat, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, Front Page, SoundForge or Flash, whichever software you are using. Okay? These are to be actually demonstrated. These are the exercise. Create a folder, copy. What you do is when you do an exercise, you are going to do practicals right now. On your machine, create a directory of your name. That's the first thing what you do. You are getting individual missions, right now? Or if you want to share, create a common name. Create a directory below that and then keep with your name. You browse your internet, put whatever information you want, copy it and keep it in that folder. Fine? Create a text file with all the content which you are going to write. Record your voice, record your video, make sure you copy and then keep it in your directory. All this if you do, your sessions by the next experts will help you. Your practicals will give you some hand. Assume you don't do this homework, by next 2 days, the next presentations will give you some lecture, but nothing will go inside. You should have some sufficient requirement how my video can be presented, how my video can be put into a lecture form. Because when the next session comes, practically you have to generate some output. For that, all these homeworks are required for. You have to do this. Okay? There's sample animation in Flash or whatever you are learning. If you are so keen in freeware software, you can use TIFF animator and then show how bird flies. Okay? Anything like that. So this is what I have to tell you now. Maybe it's the time for us to get into job. What do you do now? What do you do now? You have some questions? You want to get a brief overview of softwares now, or you want to have some activity?
Want to create some type of Flash.
Want to create Flash? Do you have Flash on your machine? What we will do, we will learn the softwares and theory and all that, but ultimately you have to deliver e-content, right? So afternoon lab we will see how many people can support. What will happen when you start working on Flash, each one of you will say how to start. One single person will not be able to, so the lab people have to be here around, supporting each one of you in doing that, okay? So the possibilities of doing with the Flash or Adobe Photoshop, Word and PowerPoint I have given some idea. Similarly, I will do for Adobe Photoshop and Flash, little bit I will show you, so that it gives a starting. So people who do not know anything will have a big handicap to start doing practical. Up to that I can do and then leave it. Afternoon we will do practical. That's one possibility. Second option is we will have discussion now to decide what you are really going to develop. What is that one? Fine. So we will listen to her. We will have discussion. So what is this? Adobe will have different versions, different names. There is slightly either for reading or analyzing or printing or minimum version. They will have different names. Adobe is generally for image. So we will have discussions. What you should do is, how many library science people? Very good number. So maybe librarians can come here because maximum number of people are over here. Dina can come here. You are not librarian. All library here. Maybe you make your company. Computer, no? Yeah. Go computers together. Languages together. Languages together. You have only one Malayalam, one English, one languages together. The languages Malayalam, English, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil. This is library. This is library. Which group you belong to? What should I do now? Get up. Run. Find your partner. You are like this? Mathematics. Join somebody. Join mathematics. Social science. Make some company. Or you want to do alone? The normal readable format, wave format or MP3 format will not accept. So I have a software for that. And that software is here. It's the voice recorder. That's the only software. So I can read the file only under that. That's what we mean by format. So some software will support only one format, another software will support only another format. So you cannot read this file under another software. So this I can just read it.
The picture of the class which we have taken yesterday, the e-content class, and the first your e-content is supposed to go in camera, right? So this
Fine. So we have recorded that. Now I can do editing on that, cut, paste, all that is possible. You can see this there. You can cut that, divide it, you can edit it, add another task onto that, all that you can do. Now what I have to do, I have to copy this onto my directory. These are all my recorded talks from March 2006 to March 2007. So last 1 year I am talking in different classes with your recording. Now this is for your e-content. So I just put it on my directory. Copying is just drag and drop. Now I can play it here.
the picture of the class which we have taken yesterday, the e-content class, and the
So this file is not liquid, so I'm removing it from my Sony record. So it's clean. I just copy it. Now this cannot be run in any other software other than this. So I have to convert the format. I have a tool over here, options, I can use convert file format. Give a second button on that, and here you can see I have got plenty of formats. Okay, whenever there is a file name below that, save as type, you look at there will be a lot of formats available, and most common format is wave file. So you can copy it as a wave file and say convert, automatically converts into a wave file. Done. So you have two files now, one Sony file and one wave file. Okay. Now if you want to write it as an MP3 file, wave file cannot be written. You have to convert it again from wave to MP3. Okay. But this is enough for me to read it outside. This is one possibility. The other possibility would be, now I have this file.
the picture of the class.
I can read that. But if I double click this, because I have this software of Sony under
the picture of the class which we have taken
I
yesterday.
cannot read. Okay. If I don't like this, there is another possibility. You don't like my sound, or you want to keep it in some other robotic style or some other style. You have got some software available for that. Having said this, I will also show you that. You don't want to put your sound. You want some documentary style of somebody else. No, generally it will not be a human sound. Some other sound will be there. A very extraordinary sound you will listen. You want an extraordinary sound? You have software and topics. This is a software available which can be used for blind people. Generally support such people. Now, for you, okay, now what we will do, we'll talk. topic.
That's on the content of CUSAT.
You know here.
This is the best on the content of CUSAT. The first ever self-revision course in Kerala. It is the best on the content of CUSAT. The first ever self-revision course in Kerala.
You don't like this? We can change the pitch.
It is the best on the content of CUSAT. The first ever self-revision course in Kerala.
You don't like this? You want to let it out?
It is the best only content of CUSAT. The first ever self-revision course in Kerala.
You want to hold the moment?
It is the best only content of CUSAT.
So you can make a lot of such modulations and then change the whole sound. Okay? The software again. And you can record this and then take the picture and put on that. You can change the video, audio different and then club them together or that is good. You can pick up all of them here and then you can add audio here, add pictures here, add video there. You can just drag and drop this. You can insert again whatever picture you want. You can import sound, you can import pictures, you can import. Okay, so you can drag and drop it here. Earlier you had only a video taken but your class was not covered by it. Now what I am doing, I can take the video and then take another video from somewhere, another picture somewhere and then mix it together and then rewrite it as another file. So that's good. Okay, now I can import sound also from here and then give this sound. And then mix. Okay? You can do that. But whatever I show you will be useless for you. Because I am only learning, you are not learning. Okay? So what is expected is all the software you will have. We will have some other versions of software which will be available. Put all of them on your system and then start trying. The lab session have to be for that. Okay? Try yourself. All this you have to try. Okay? So that's for demonstration of some of the software. You want to see some other software available? Yeah. Most of the software, like you have seen the Sony audio software supports audio editing. You can cut it, paste it, change the modulation, change the sound, all that is good. Similarly, most of the software which comes along with your camera also will support little bit of image processing. Nowadays it's coming more than what we have got on something else. These are the softwares available. This is take this. So you can see, you can show it as a slideshow, adjust image quality. Okay? Many possibilities are there. Few tools, features. You can see the manual adjustment when you go, you have got brightness adjustment. You can see the normal motion changes. Once you accept it, change. You can change the saturation, non-saturation changes. The red becomes much more red. You can change the hue, the negative part of RGB. You can change the contrast. You see in the smaller window that change happens. The original one is the changed one. Okay, so you can look at both of them and then accept it. Okay, so you can do little bit of adjustment on this. You can sharpen the software, sharpen the image, low sharpening, high sharpening, all the edges will come out. You can see neutral braces are backside. You can do it. Normally it's not done, but in some special cases we do that. Okay, you can do an auto adjustment. Just take an average and then try to modify it slightly. Contrast and image quality will adjust because the brightness here, brightness in another column is slightly different. So it takes an average by piece and then try to add it to other places. No, none of these sharpening, hue, all that will not change the size because everything is 8-bit. The size of your image is same, so it's not going to change the size of the file.
Also, the length of the script that you can put in a module because there has to be a specific time within which a module should load on your system.
See, that depends again on your system and how many frames you have. It's a still picture and you have got audio, it will not occupy much space. But the video, for each second you are going to have 60 frames. Okay?
So how big
Okay. You are getting into more and more details. Now assume that he is going to take a picture. We have got one is called an MPEG. Okay? The MPEG file format does not store the whole frame. 60 frames are required for 1 second. Why MPEG is famous? Here the chairs are not moving, computer is not moving, none of the other things are moving, only I am moving. Okay? So 60 frames, why it has to store 60 frames of non-moving object? When you take a video, it's not required. So MPEG has got an internal memory. The format itself works in such a fashion that whichever moving object, that will have 60, non-moving object will be 1. Understood? So it does a negative portion of that and then add to that and then do that. Therefore, your space depends on which format you are writing. does not depend on the number of frames, does not depend on what color, contrast, all that is not the parameter. Only the parameter is which format you are writing, because some formats are very good. When you are taking picture, whatever is moving, only that portion will be kept as moving, and the other constant picture will become a background. So that's possible.
So it's an automatic layering.
That is an automatic layering done internally in the format. That's why MPEG format is very good. And similarly, JPEG is very good, because what it does is there is a white background. Why you have to store the number 233 is the number given for this painting. So 233 has to be repeated to that prefixel. Why it has to repeat? It knows from this corner to that corner it is white. And that information will be stored somewhere and the number will be stored somewhere. When it has to display, it will give you. But internally in the image, you do not have every number. So it does something called that sampling together and then push it. That's possible. Okay, so format matters.
10-minute module.
Yeah.
How would you process all this? Like if you want to have a video in a 10-minute module, how much time will you allocate for the actual video?
If you have got a 10-minute module, if I am talking, you look good, then you can have 10 minutes totally your picture. If it is mathematics, probably you have to show it onto the board because you are going to write. Okay? And how much time you have to show that what is written depends on how much you are going to explain on that. If it's only a the equation which you are going to explain, don't take a movie of the equation. Understood? Because every second you are going to put 60 frames. You are not changing anything there. But when I am talking, I am changing. My lips are moving. So you have to have a video only when there is a movement. There is no movement, show only pictures. There are possibilities in the camera where you can have still pictures in the middle. So assume that you are focusing on what is written on the power slide or on the board, or you are showing some extra pictures, show it only as a picture. Wherever movement is there, store it as a video. Okay, so your content of video, audio, visual, picture means visual or graph, all that depends on what is that you are going to do. Assume you are going to have only a lecture in which no visuals, then whole 10 minutes can be only a video, right? Or you don't like to come with the picture at all. You are talking about space or star. You can see a star and that picture can come and your audio can come. You don't have to come in the picture at all, right? Or you like to show some graphs. You are talking about the pollution or groundwater pollution, or you are talking about human rights violation. So you will have different pictures taken at different places. You like to put them in sequence and your audio will come. Your picture is immaterial. Okay? Or you are trying to talk about talking English, teaching English in a class, where you want to have interactive session with the students. Then not that you have to talk, you should also get response from the students. So you have to get two camera, one on this side, one on the other side, and then put them together. Question, answer, interaction. So it depends what you want to do. But normally, too much of a single face is boring. Too much of a single picture is boring. So you should have a mixture of little bit of graph, little bit of animation, little bit of all that. Yesterday I have seen the dance in which the dancer could have been there totally, but she was not there. Sometimes animation also was there, sometimes something else came, some other visuals came, some pictures came. So it's essential to have a good mix. And your question was how much it costs. It depends on if you have a camera. Now normally these cameras will be around 10,000 rupees or more than that. 10 to 12,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees. Huh? Yeah, it depends on.
Why do you use that camera? Because when you not use a simple web camera, that is only how
Yeah, simple web camera resolution is very, very bad.
Yes, but here is the 5 frames can be there, so that's not
No, but what happens to the web camera is number of frames which it can put, and you don't have the software which will support you for contrast, brightness, nothing. Your bit rate is very slow. It does not store in 8 bit, it stores in 6 bit. It is not having 256 gray shift, just got only maybe 64 sometimes. So your quality will be very, very poor. But there are good cameras coming out. Okay, so it depends on what camera you are using. These cameras have got advantage. Where you want to assume that you want to show some molecular structure of something, you can zoom it. Right? Which you cannot do it elsewhere. Now the picture what you have taken, you can zoom it further. Provided you have set it at maybe 1000 pixel resolution. If I have done it only 300 pixels, there is a limit again. Okay? There are scanners, for example. Today you don't have 8-bit scanner, you have got 22-bit scanner, where you scan the darkest portion also, again it will bring you something out from that. So it depends on the resolution. There are resolutions in 3 types. One is called the normal geometric resolution. There are 3 types. Geometric, that means the distance which can capture, larger portion will come smaller in 1 pixel. The whole class can be in 1000 pixels, or I can put it in 2000 pixels. If I put it in 2000 pixels, more resolution. Okay. And another one could be the gray shade. I am trying to use less technical words. Okay, I am trying to explain the minimum possible. Okay, so when you have got the gray shade, it can be from 0 to 256 gray shade, 255, that means 8 bits, or it can be 0 to 64, that is 6 bits, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, like that it goes, the bit rate. So you can have 6 bits. So you know that approximately 4 times the size will reduce here. Therefore the transfer rate also can be better. So you can change the resolution in this. And you can have your bandwidth, that is the color, whether you are using RGB or black and white, or you are using multi-band, that also can be different. So you have got different ways of representing the image and the resolution. Resolutions can be different. One is called spectral resolution. The spectral means the color combination of the band which you are using. So one is called the geometric resolution, another one is called spectral resolution, the technical term. Spectral means the bandwidth in which you are taking picture. Normally pictures will come in the natural color, but you can also have thermal camera. If you go to China for entry at the visa, they will take your picture and see whether you have fever or not. If you have fever, your temperature will be noted in the picture, and you will see, oh, you have fever. They don't even want to come closer, 6 feet away. During the time when there is some diseases, they will do that. And I was going to Tibet, the picture was taken from far. Okay, you are alright, you can go. So you just ask the body. They have got a thermal camera to check your temperature. So it's possible. Okay, the satellite uses all these different. The Prime Minister switches off the telephone when they are in the session, but some lecturers are much more busier in this world. She is in a different world. The Prime Minister switches off the phone when he is in the Parliament. We don't care. Nobody talks to him for 16 hours or 20 hours. Good manners in Kerala. Wonderful. And that comes from teachers. And I have myself maybe 16 calls, missed calls yesterday for 2 hours lecture. But I keep in vibration because I don't lose my call. And I spend much more after that. I have to talk to all of them back on a AP number. should have just received it. I don't do that. Very good. Now, what is that I was talking now? Arakakandavela. Kerala Parliament will nanda organ export of some figs were being discussed. You know the story? Pandina Kaikan America. അത് സംസാരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. അപ്പോഴാണ് ഒരാൾ എഴുന്നേറ്റ് പറഞ്ഞത് എന്നാൽ അതില് അയാളുടെ കാസ്റ്റപ്പെട്ട 4 ആളും കൂടി വേണം. അമേരിക്ക കയക്കണമെന്നേ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, ബാക്കിയൊന്നും കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല. അത് ഏത് പന്നി ആയാലും കുഴപ്പമില്ല, അതിൽ 4 മുസ്ലിം പന്നി വേണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 4 ക്രിസ്ത്യൻ പന്നി വേണം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 4 ഹിന്ദു പന്നി വേണം. പ്ലീസ്, just insulting people. Just that. If somebody does do in your class, what you will do? ഞാൻ ഗസ്റ്റ് ലെക്ചേഴ്സ് ഒക്കെ 400 കുട്ടികൾ 500 കുട്ടികളൊക്കെ ചില സ്കൂളുകളിൽ. Then I used to pick up few students and throw out the principal from the place. You are not fit to become a principal of Kotaka. He is a big man. He comes late after 45 minutes in the class, and he don't care. Yesterday he did not attend. He knows the principal.
No, sir. It's not like that. Yesterday I have an urgent call from the college to be.
Whatever happens when you are in the professional course, you are out from college.
But
or let you be out from college.
But it seems there the faculty
The whole world is not
those
going to fall down. Nothing happens in the world. Nothing will happen if you are absent from some place. Nothing is going to happen. If my wife calls telling that there is an accident, I am not going to attend to that because I am here for committed for this job. That's the commitment you should have. If you don't have, I am telling the truth. If it comes, a call comes, nothing, I can do nothing. Because she knows how to manage, otherwise she knows how to get somebody else. Leave me, no problem. You should have commitment when you come for a job, else don't come. That's what you should do. Okay? Sorry, I'm not supposed to tell you. Directly from that. Now what happens is you can have your pictures and you can change your resolution from larger to smaller. Assume you have got 2000 lines, you can simplify it and make it 1000. But if your original picture is 1000, you cannot make it better. You understand what I am trying to say? The original resolution have got 2000 points in which I have recorded this. Lengthwise 1000, widthwise 1000. This picture I have recorded. That size becomes too large. Now what I can do? I take one out. Alternate pixels out, alternate lines out. I will get another picture. Your picture will become almost the same. There will be no clarity change. Okay, I can do that only if I record the original one in the best resolution. Okay, if I don't do it in the best way in the original, then subsequently I will not be able to improve it. So always take the picture in the best fashion and you can reduce the resolution. There are possibilities. That's called there are 2 methods in technically called resampling and subsampling. Okay, what you can do is you have a picture over here in which these are the pixels. Always I can select 4 one line, pixel wise 2 pixels 2 lines, and then average them and write it as 1. That means 4 pixels can be averaged to 1. The size can be reduced to 1/4. Okay, so it's always possible to rewrite the image to make it smaller. There is no problem. So you can have your picture generally, but the problem is, assume that if I set it in the highest resolution, maybe I can store 300 images in the best resolution, but if I reduce the resolution 1/4 words, then how many images I can store? 4 times. 1200 images I can store. Understood? If I am putting in 1000 pixels by 1000 scan lines, instead of that, if I am putting 500 scan lines by 500 pixels for an image, the 1/4 size I can save. Therefore, number of pictures which I can take in the camera will vary. Assume you have bought a camera and you don't know how to set the resolution part. you will see only 10 pictures are able to store in my camera, you will say. And what will happen when you copy onto your floppy, you will not be able to copy in a floppy because it will be more than 1 MB, 1.4 MB, 1.5 MB. You will wonder what's happening to this. And assume you write in TIFF, it will become much more. But if you write in JPEG, it will be smaller. So in which format you are storing, all that matters. Now the resolution of the camera also is not relevant. Now for example, you can set it. I can set from 300 to 2000. Okay, and a good camera will have. See, for example, you are taking the picture of a moving hand. Generally, the picture becomes blurred, right? Picture becomes blurred. But you just move your finger very fast. You can just move your finger very fast. Keep on moving it. Now, you can see your finger is not. No, that's because the background you have got. I can take the picture of a really moving fan, and then the leaf will be seen very clear. Okay. The real moving fan, you can see it's in full speed. The full speed, you will not see the leaf. But when you take picture, you can see the leaf very clearly. That's what happens. So your shutter speed can be changed. So resolution means not just the pixel resolution, the shutter speed also matters. In normal camera, you have got what is called a 100 ASA, 400 ASA, and shutter speed accordingly varies. You have got a small button where you can change it. Okay, but in digital camera, you have no buttons. All these are done through mirrors. So you can change the shutter speed, and that's important for some time. We assume that you are doing an experiment in which some fumes are coming. You have to see that. You have to take this. Otherwise, assume that you are trying to explain a hurricane. You will see it's only fuzzy. It will not be seen as a hurricane. Either dusty. You will not distinguish. So probably you need a high resolution camera, and sometimes you have to have multiple pictures. Okay. So it's essential to have some information about the camera to know how does it. What is the resolution which you have? 5 megapixels.
In most cases, when they tell you if you want to record, it is 5 megapixels. They tell you to go for 1 or 2 megapixels if you want to have any web-based application.
Yeah, that is because you may have got. That's what yesterday I told you, that you can have a 300 dpi printer in which you print a picture. When you scan it, there is no point in scanning it at 1000. You know you are going to webcast it, and therefore 100 kbps is the normal speed of the web in which we are working. There is no point in having lot of frames because the speed itself is very low. Assume that you are going to only see the image on this monitor. You are not going to print it large. Then what is the resolution which you have to take picture? It's enough if you take it with 1000 pixels by 500 pixels, right? Because if you take larger also, you are going to put it onto that and then see. You are not going to put it bigger.
So coming back to my cost factor, it is not enough to have just a mobile phone or.
That is why I said while picturing, you don't just look at that. You are going to see it only on this. You may enlarge it and then put it sometime. You may like to see major details sometimes. It is, if you are only going to see the larger audience, that's enough. But assume you are showing some the cell pattern, probably you have to zoom it further and look at it. That's required. Otherwise, it's not required. For normal, that's what I said, depends on your application, whether you want to zoom further. Based on that, you decide your image size. Okay? Otherwise, you will not be able to zoom it further. That's what. Let us take this picture and then try to look at it. What will happen if you zoom further and how much you can zoom. We'll come back to this later. Okay. Now I am going to zoom this. One zoom, two zoom, three zoom. Now it starts blurring. Right now, I am not able to zoom further. It starts blurring again. Why is supporting this much zoom? നല്ല കണ്ണൊക്കെ അടച്ച് നല്ല കോൺസെൻട്രേഷനോടുകൂടി your Indriya will start working. This Indriya will start working more when it goes ഇന്നലെ ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് ശേഷം നല്ല ഭംഗിയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു ഈ ഭാഗത്ത്. So you can see it starts blurring. Right now, assume the resolution was better, you can zoom it further. Now what will happen? You will like to, maybe you have taken a picture, but then you have to zoom and then look at it. You will have a problem. Fine? Any more questions? I am trying to answer your questions first. So there was some questions, there was another question. So both are finished. Any more specific questions?
How do you make it spicy? Could you cut off all the...
Okay, the simplest way to cut off your size, simplest, don't. Okay? What you can do is, you can assume generally your requirement is to put it on a screen or use it in a PowerPoint. Right? Now, I will insert one slide here, new slide. And I am not trying to give you the right science or the method of doing it. I am just giving you a shortcut which we use it. Generally we don't do the procedural way. We know how to do it practically, right? So I am giving a practical session on this. It's not the way to do. I wanted to put this on this. Now you see what happens when I am putting. It has not filled up the whole frame, right? Now I wanted to change the size. I just filled up. I just increased the size. Assume the size was big, I can reduce the size. Now why this has to work? I have taken it from the same camera, right? Now I will take another picture, original size of the picture which I have taken will be slightly different. Open, because I bought the camera some time back, and where I don't know the setting of resolution, what was originally available, that resolution only I have taken few pictures, and that's available somewhere in 2006 May. Picture, profile. I will have some examples to show you with the different settings. You can also change it and do that. But don't have to use that. Photos. Okay. What has happened? You can see my frame is only this much, but image is much bigger. Right now? Now what I do? I will drag it, reduce it. The first one I have shown you how to do this another way. I just fix it. But only I have reduced the visible size, but internally the image is not changed. But what I am trying to do is I wanted to make a PowerPoint presentation in which different size of images have to be put together, which I am going to present, and optimum size of the image have to be preserved. So what do? I have an option called after doing all this cutting and pasting and dumping it, writing your whatever annotation you want, all that you do. See, for example, here I want to give an annotation like on the way to calculate.
ഇതിനെ ബേസ് പ്രൊഡിക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും.
ഇതിന്റെ പേരിലല്ലേ